Hey there, Bracy here. I am happy to report that yesterday's user test went awesome. I was not expecting it to go as well as it did. The development took all the way up until the time I had to leave for the city to meet everyone at this apartment, this really cool apartment building in the middle of Manhattan. And it's a small apartment, but we were able to do a multi-person virtual reality experience. Five people in at the exact same time. They could see each other, and all I was running it from was just a router and a phone. Like it was just the phone was acting as the server, and the router was like an old little Verizon router that I used to have from like over half a decade ago now. Yeah, and it went amazingly. As I was saying, I was developing up until the time I had to leave, and I didn't know if I had a solid build as I was leaving the house, as I was finishing up and packing everything up. Because when I was testing the second to last build, I was going through and testing it out, and halfway through there was some break. It was like everything was just black. And if you have to know, it's a multi-user spatial kind of puzzle, and everyone has to get from the very beginning, and they go through multiple dimensions, and if they choose the wrong portal, they end up back at the fail zone, and ultimately they're going through these cycles, helping each other figure out what the right path is to make it to the end of the experience. And yeah, right before I was about to leave, there was in the middle there was just everything. There was one room that just went black, and I had to fix it, but I also didn't have the time to test if the fix worked. And it worked, and it was good, and it was actually pretty amazing. They clapped and laughed, and they had a great time. Each experience took about 15 minutes, which is good because that's what I was trying to plan for. There were about nine. No, scratch it. There's about like 11 different rooms that you're going through, and each one has these portal keys in there. Not portal key, it's not a key, but like basically this entry, and it's all gazed based. So if you look at this thing for like a split second too long, it transitions you into another world, and you got to figure out what links what world to which world and find your way through. And it only works if you only win if everybody makes it through. And yeah, they made it. Both teams made it through in about 15 minutes. Some people had better strengths than others. Some people were really good at navigating and figuring their way out, and others were better at communicating. Some just wanted to chill out and like look at the spaces. All different modes, but ultimately, the test was to prove the mechanic can work really well, and ultimately changing between locations, making it really simple, really easy, and really fun, and use that mechanic to be the foundation of a platform for content, making it easy for people to go from one thing to the next. And ultimately, if you keep the experiences, if you make each experience too big, then this method of going between isn't as enjoyable because you get to a space. Ultimately, I want each space to leave you wanting more. And people can't do that. And also it lowers the barrier of entry. If like anyone can contribute because they only have like a small room to curate or create, build whatever, you're gonna get more worlds, more variety, and some people could put in a lot, and others, but like anyone, not anyone. I mean, there's still a barrier of entry. If you can't afford a computer, like that's a serious barrier of entry. But there are more people out there now with a computer that can play something like Minecraft. And if a computer can play Minecraft, then it can run Unity, and it can build a virtual reality experience now for free. The same with Blender. If they get Blender, they can build a room, and we can basically make it so anyone can build a room in this platform, and we can quickly get people between rooms. No loading screens. You don't have to worry about controllers. It doesn't have to be too crazy. We can make it fit you. I was even thinking about doing voice command, just because ultimately all you're asking it to do is go to the next room, so you could just be like Q port Qport Go or Qport Engage. I don't know. Do some really cool command that is like, all right, I'm ready to change rooms. Anyway, all that to say, I got it done. I got it there. It worked out. People enjoyed it. They had a lot of fun. I got to film it. Yeah, like I said, I should show you all this stuff, but until someone's watching besides myself, I feel like, consistently, not just one video, which somebody watched and commented, and I had an exchange. Excited about that. Felt good having somebody actually watch a video and comment, ask a question, and me respond. In the context of doing this vlog, felt like an achievement, one person, which I can't really explain, because I've had videos that I've had a fair amount of exchanges, a fair amount of views. I never felt like, oh, this is doing anything significant, because there's this expectation. I think there's this expectation with the videos that I made that they were supposed to get hundreds of views or thousands of views. And making these videos, I have zero expectation. In fact, the freedom comes from expecting no one to watch it. The freedom for me to be able to express what I have to think, what I have to say, from what I've been thinking about, what I'm working on. Ultimately, there is no pressure, and so when somebody engages with a video, it actually means more. It feels like it's something more earnest. I don't know. Anyway, so yes, last night went fantastic. I felt really accomplished for being able to achieve this experience in such a short period of time, because if you've been watching the videos, you know that I had been working on my application for the R Lab for the last week and a half or so, since I had started this, and my concentration has been there. And while I had been planning this game, this experience for a little while, I didn't actually put any hard work into it until 2 days ago. So that's like, I only worked on it for 2 days, and so the idea that I was able to get it to the point that the whole event manager worked and was able to do all the things, especially when you're talking about a multi-user experience, for it to go out successfully, I felt really, really good about that. Really accomplished. That's not to say it didn't go out without a hitch. There was one issue, so I had brought 6 headsets, and the experience was built for 6 people, but it just so happened one of the headsets just stopped working. I'm not really entirely sure why, but the controller's not working, and so without the controller working, I couldn't really load the experience appropriately, and yeah, that stunk. But in the end, it also worked out because there were 10 people, and so I got to do them in groups of 5, which means that I got 2 groups to fully go through, and both seemed to really enjoy themselves. So good stuff all around. Yeah, that's all I got for today. Thanks for watching, and keep on trucking. I'm just gonna say something. So just to touch on what I talked about yesterday with the Italian, just real quick. So I downloaded a podcast, and I started listening to 2 podcast lessons in learning Italian. I need to do more, because it was interesting to listen to. It sounds like she's teaching entirely in Italian. Like, there was no English, there was no means of translating what this lady was saying, but it's a Learn Italian podcast. And I would say that it doesn't work if you don't have any English translation, but I think for the little bit of Italian that I actually have an ear for, because of just people I'm connected to, I found myself more intrigued to listen to this lady speak in Italian and catch words, and it made me want to continue, which is ultimately the key to learning anything is that you find a way that is enjoyable to repeat something that makes you keep coming back, and then you'll build faster. And so I thought that was a little interesting. So I'm going to try this podcast. The issue is that this podcast doesn't allow me to really share anything on this vlog yet, but hopefully it turns into something more than just me listening to a podcast. Hopefully this actually translates into me speaking l'italiano. Anyway, ciao, bene. Not stopping. Well,